Despite the fact that viewers of The Voice are accustomed to change, there is one major name that has not yet been replaced in those spinning red seats, and this has fans asking questions. Blake Shelton, a country musician, made his triumphant exit from the show in 2023 after having been a mainstay on the show for an incredible 23 seasons. He is the most successful coach in the history of the show, having won 9 wins over the course of 12 years. The question, "Where's Blake?" was posed once more by fans of The Voice after the show revealed its new lineup of coaches for a special Battle of Champions season and revealed that Shelton was not one of them. This information was taken from Instagram and imported. On their website, you might be able to discover the same stuff in a different format, or you might be able to find additional information. The musician, known for his hit song Ol' Red, decided to leave the NBC show in order to devote his attention to his family, more specifically to his wife, Gwen Stefani, and her 3 sons. In 2021, Blake Shelton became a stepfather for the first time when he tied the wedding, and he immediately and enthusiastically embraced his new role. Access Hollywood conducted an interview with the celebrity, during which he revealed that becoming a stepfather caused a shift in his priorities. "I think the only way for me to really parent right is to step away from being committed to something like The Voice that demands a lot of your time," he stated candidly. "There is no option to get around it. You have to be 10% committed to the endeavor if you want to be successful in completing it. And for the time being, I have the impression that those days are in the past." When he was asked about his new role as a dad, he responded, "I got a more important job." This information was taken from Instagram and imported. On their website, you might be able to discover the same stuff in a different format, or you might be able to find additional information. Although this is true, it does not mean that he is fully slowing down. Fans of Yellowstone will be pleased to learn that he has collaborated with Taylor Sheridan on a new project she is responsible for. A welcome departure from traditional singing competitions, the show The Road is scheduled to make its debut on CBS in the fall of this year. In addition to Keith Urban, Blake is going on the road, thus the name of the show, in order to locate up-and-coming talents who will be opening acts. Fans in each area will have the ability to vote for these artists to be considered for the showcase. The love that Blake has for this new chapter is evident, and although it does not appear probable that he would return to The Voice as a coach in the near future, we would not completely rule out the possibility of his making a surprise cameo. Unfortunately, Blake Shelton is no longer able to spin in the red chair. The country crooner said goodbye to The Voice after 23 seasons, leaving behind a legacy that will live on as long as the twang of a steel guitar. You may be wondering, but why? What was the reason behind the decision of the guy who spun chairs and hearts alike to hang up his boots? I propose that we take a trip along the dusty path that he left behind himself. In October of 2022, Shelton made the announcement that he would be leaving the show that he had been loyal to ever since it was first broadcast in 2011. He had been struggling with the issue for some time, and in the end, he came to the conclusion that it was time for him to disengage. In an emotional message, he indicated that the program had improved his life in every aspect and that it would always feel like home to him. He said that the show had altered things for the better. But what was the impetus behind this shift? The answer can be found in the straightforward pleasures that life has to offer, such as the desire to slow down, the family, and the house. In the year 2021, Shelton tied the knot with Gwen Stefani, so becoming the stepfather of her 3 sons. It dawned on him that in order to become the kind of dad he envisioned himself to be, he needed to remove himself from responsibilities that required a significant amount of his time. One of his statements to Access Hollywood was as follows: "If you are going to do it and do it right, you have to be 10% in. And for the time being, I have the impression that those days are in the past. I was offered a more significant position." In the time that has passed since his departure, Shelton has not vanished into thin air. After working with Warner Music Nashville for 25 years, he has recently signed a contract with BMG to further his career in the music industry. This is reflected in his most recent hit, Texas, which is a return to his country origins. In addition, he is working with Taylor Sheridan on a new CBS project called The Road, which explores the concept of music competitions in a novel way by traveling throughout the country in search of up-and-coming musicians. Shelton has declined to return to the show despite the fact that it has made numerous attempts to entice him to return, including making a big cash offer to perform alongside Adam Levine for season 29. In light of the fact that he continues to prioritize his family and his music, a return to The Voice would not be in line with his present priorities. The resignation of Blake Shelton puts an end to an era for the singing competition The Voice. His 9 victories and 15 artists whose songs reached #1 on the iTunes Top Songs chart made him the only coach to have been with the show since the first season. He was the only coach to have accomplished this feat. Through his friendship with other coaches, particularly Adam Levine, he provided a fresh and original dynamic to the program, which successfully combined friendly rivalry with genuine friendship. In light of the fact that season 29 is drawing up, fans are left wondering whether or not the show will be able to replicate the magic that Blake Shelton brought to the red chair. Time is the only thing that can tell. The decision that Blake Shelton made to leave The Voice was not simply the conclusion of a chapter. Rather, it was a conscious decision to focus on the things that are most important. Shelton made the conscious decision to slow down and cherish the moments that truly matter in a world that frequently moves at a breakneck pace. In spite of the fact that he is still making music and memories with his family, one thing is certain: his legacy on The Voice will not be forgotten.